Welcome to the view from my window. This is Russell, also known as Hollywood Russ. Robin scurried off to work a little while ago, about a half hour ago, so she should be there soon. Someone on a bicycle. How exciting. So, I've been walking without a cane for like I'd say a week now. And even though my knee hurts a lot, it's very rewarding not to be like this little old gentleman, stooped over, with victim written all over his forehead, getting in other people's way, slowing everything down. Here comes some musician institute. Robin and I made up a name for them. Students who went to the Musician Institute. Like Minsky's or something? Minsky's? I can't remember. It was a funny name though. I'll have to ask Robin if she remembers. You know, I'm sorry to all my viewers and listeners. Obviously, I'm doing something wrong because my listenership on my blog has kind of panned out. If it weren't for that accosted by Scientologists videos, the curve would look more realistic, but instead I've got this bleep, I guess it is, in last May that shot up my ratings, and then people stuck with it for a while, and then it slowly declined. I still have a lot of subscribers, I mean less than 100, but more than 5 or 6, and I got a lot of friends on YouTube, and so what more can you do? I subscribed to Young Turks, which is always funny, and that other one that always ends with do something, which is very move on, orgish, and you know, everybody's pissed off at Lieberman. So pissed off. And, wait a minute. Everybody's pissed off at Lieberman. And, the liberals especially, the liberal wing of the party is going after his throat. And I say amen. I hope Nancy Pelosi, even though she's in the other house, does all she can from her side of the building to put pressure to bear on the Senate to like decommission this guy, because he's a Republican and he's going to be, you know, people asked, well, why don't you just become a Republican? And he said, I very well may. And he just thought Bush was the greatest thing since cream cheese. After that picture or video of him giving Lieberman, Bush too, smacking him, giving him a big smack on the lips, right on, like they're boyfriend and girlfriend. Of course, we don't have to guess who's on top in that relationship, who the top is and bottom is. And Lieberman had his head so far up McCain's butt. Obviously he was hoping for Even though he didn't get the vice presidency nod, he was hoping for a position on his cabinet, probably Secretary of State. Would he have been the first Jewish man to serve in that position? I don't know. I really don't know in the history of the State Department if they've ever had a Jewish Secretary of State. I doubt it. I doubt it very much. Especially with dealing with those crazy Arab countries. And I'm not even saying like these Islamo-fascists, which is a word that the neocons coined to describe like Palestinians. And you know, it's time that we just stop and take a breath and look at the situation from the Palestinians' side. I know that's anathema in American foreign policy, but just take a little look at what the Palestinians really have to say. Send somebody to sit down and talk to them. The whole Arab world is pissed off about what happened in Israel. Even though it's a tiny patch of land, they consider it their holy land just as much as the Jews and the Christians. And I think the only way, you know, my father said this a long time ago, and I think it was a good solution. Turn Jerusalem into an open city, and just have it guarded by the UN, every entry point, have big UN contingencies so no one can blame the Israelis, no one can blame the Muslims, no one can blame anybody for what goes on inside or outside the gates of this incredibly historic city. And give the UN a mandate to maintain the roads, the electricity, everything in Jerusalem become a mandate of the UN. Even the selection of a mayor. And even in that selection idea, my idea for that is you have two mayors, a Jewish mayor and an Arab mayor. And every day they would sit down and talk. Or twice a week. Whatever. Just to keep the lines of communication open between both sides. I think that would go a long way towards bringing peace to Iran. Phone is ringing. It's probably the PT department. Anyway, you've got my theories. I can call PT back. So Robin and I had a lovely day. It didn't even end on an ugly note. I think I mentioned how we went to see W, or we didn't even get in a big fight last night, which is, you know, really breaking a cycle of behavior that we had where we were just arguing every night. It was just, it was wearing both of us down, you know. And I'm glad that there's been a break in that behavior. Oh, I love to watch birds court. Sometimes it's impossible to catch it on this video, but I saw two sparrows courting. It's so cool to watch them mate in midair. They can't mate sitting down. They weren't made that way. I don't know. I guess the non-flying birds, like penguins. Penguins, do they mate in the water? Probably. Or do we even know where penguins mate? And People wonder why the whales beach themselves, but because of the pollution and dirt in the water. Well, I've been on here for 10 fucking minutes. This is one of my longest entries ever, so I apologize. You don't have to listen to the whole thing. I'll forgive you if you don't. Over and out.